Hello, I'm going to teach you how to put this dead front on the door. First of all, you might want to take the door off the initial enclosure and make it a lot easier to do so. Then you're going to have to unscrew all of the back of these hinges in order to get your other hinges for the dead front onto it. Here's the initial door one. Up here is the one for the dead front. And on the back of the one that's already implanted on the enclosure, there's a little bracket that has threaded screws or 3 screw holes on it that you're gonna have to take off. In order to take them off, you need a T15 torque bit. And this is the back plate that's on it that has threaded holes in it. And then you also have this with a new hinge. You then have 2 nuts. You're going to put the initial hinge back on exactly how it was. And then just add the other hinge. Make sure it's facing this way, back on the back of it. And take your nuts. You're gonna probably want to hold it on the back and then screw it in from the other side. You do want to make sure that they line up with the hole that's in the back, so it's flush. And you also want to make sure that the bracket that was initially there is flush against the side of the enclosure. Once you get all 4 in, you can move on to the actual dead front. To move on to the dead front portion, you're going to want to take this bracket of it, the parts that are bent out, you're going to want facing this way towards the outside of the dead front. And it's got a little slot right here, it's going to slide it right in. And they have threaded holes on it, so you can go ahead and screw it right in. It is a Phillips head. And it does require 2 screws, which come with it. And then once you do that, once you get all 4 in, you can get ready to mounting it into the enclosure. Now for mounting it and putting it into the enclosure, you're gonna take these little pins, and once you're able to get it in, it is easier with 2 people, but it's possible with 1. You're gonna slide it into this right here, and then there's little clips. Be sure not to lose them. They look like that. And they're going to slide into that little notch into the pin. If you have steel-toed shoes on, definitely use them to your advantage. And usually you can get just 2 pins in there for the start to be able to hold it in there. Always got to maneuver around so the pin can just slide in, open it and close it even. Putting the pins in, you can always take some channel locks and a hammer and put them right on top and hammer it down in there so they can get in there, because they are kind of tricky sometimes. Now after that, you're going to need those clips that I mentioned earlier, and having a needle nose really helps with this because they're very tiny and kind of troublesome to put on. So you got to push it right on that little clip, that little indent right there. That should clip on, and that'll prevent the pin from sliding out. And once you're done with that, as you can see, it kind of goes in to the enclosure without that stopper. You got this bracket right here that you're going to line up with this right here. This is when it's closed and it won't be able to open. So you're going to want it lined up perfectly with that, so that when you close it, it locks in there and it won't be able to move. So you're going to find the spot on there, on the enclosure. It's going to be about right there. You're going to push it all up against there, and there's 3 holes here. It comes with 1 threaded hole that you can use, or if you have your own hardware, you can put them in these 2 and just nut them down. I'm going to find the spot, line up here, and they should be flush against this side of the enclosure, so that when it's going against, it stops it, and then you can lock it and it won't move. And that is how you install the dead front into the enclosure.